Okay, what's up, YouTube? It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another review of Sci Fi Month. And this is a 2014 sci fi movie that came out in late November, and it was the latest efforts by Sir Christopher Nolan. And yes, I know you know what I'm talking about, and it is the freaking cinematic, space adventure, if you will, Interstellar. Yeah, this is the Blu-ray 2 disc edition of Interstellar I got last year at Target for $4 on Black Friday. Hell of a deal. The best Blu-ray I got last year on Black Friday. And this movie was freaking amazing when I saw this in the theater. I know a lot of people were mixed on it because they were expecting something more from Christopher Nolan. I mean, this was his first major sci-fi movie that was, away from Inception and The Dark Knight and everything else. And just wow, when you talk sci-fi month, this is the kind of movie I'm talking about. It is a very long, yet very ambitious and very beautifully directed film with an awesome cast, great cinematography, amazing visual effects, and a story that you've seen before, but here it was done absolutely right. Matthew McConaughey is great in the film. I think he was robbed of an Oscar that year in 2014. He should have gotten a nomination, because I didn't really care for most of the guys that got a nomination for Best Actor in 2014, um, except for like J.K. Simmons, but because I saw Whiplash and he was great in that. But this was just a feast for the eyes. Flaws with the film: I think the third act is way too long. The scene in the bookshelf, spoilers, it just goes on and on and on, and it feels like it takes forever for him to get out of it. Just some pacing in the third act just kind of slows the film down for like 20 or 30 minutes, but the ending is definitely satisfying. I don't think the ending is that bad. Some people said the ending was stupid and ruined the film. I don't think it ruined the film. I haven't seen the film in a while, but I remember the ending, and I'm not going to spoil it here for those of you who haven't seen it. But yeah, this has an amazing ensemble cast. You have Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain as the older version of Murph. You have Bill Irwin, Ellen Bernstein, Michael Caine. You have Topher Grace. He even gives a good performance in this movie. And this is a must see masterpiece. I agree. It's a great film. In ways, I think it's better than that. Yeah, I can say this is visually stunning, and it's no remake of 2001: A Space Odyssey or Gravity or any space opera that you've seen, space drama you've seen before. It's not an action movie. If people say this is an action movie, it's not an action movie. They were misguided. It's a sci-fi mystery thriller drama. That's all it is. It's not a action movie. Don't expect to see McConaughey shooting aliens in space. That's not the kind of movie it is. It's a slow burn, but it gets the job done. And McConaughey is great in the film. Everybody cries in this movie because it's emotional. Nolan squeezed emotion out of every actor in this film. McConaughey and Anne Hathaway and Michael Caine and Jessica Chastain and Mackenzie Foy and everybody. It's just a fantastically made film. The visual effects in space look really great. The robot was really cool to see in the movie. See a robot just like that movie. And here, even though Nolan is a British director, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's bringing to the screen. Even a film like The Dark Knight Rises, you can see it and look at it, and it's very well made. For in a production standpoint. But this was not just well made, production wise. It was also well acted, well written, well made storytelling at its finest. And if you can get over the long running time and sit back and watch it at home, I think it's a well done. It's a great experience. And I saw this in the theater for free. I don't regret it. I saw it early because I knew the movie was very long. So, but yeah, the third act is very long, so you have to stay with it though. Even though it's a slow burn, stick with it, and you'll be fine. Hans Zimmer score is amazing. It draws you right in. I don't think there was a bad performance. Yeah, Matt Damon is kind of shoehorned in there as a villain. Spoiler alert, but he does a good job for what he has to do. And I know Nolan's doing another film next year, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna top this or Inception because he just knows what he's doing, man. The guy has a vision and he lets it show on screen. And as much crap as people give him for the Dark Knight trilogy, at least this was a major redemption for him for those who hated those films, especially people that wanted to see him do something different, and he did do something different. And the movie is amazing. It deserved best visual effects. I thought that this and Guardians were two of the great best sci-fi picks I saw that year. And if it wasn't for the extended long ending, I thought, the third act, I thought this would have been in my like top three of the year, definitely. And I don't hate this movie. A lot of people were mixed on it, saying it's boring or it's tedious or we've seen it before. It's not in Nolan's best. I think it's great. It's a fantastic freaking movie. It's flawed, just like that movie, and I'm going to keep comparing it because it's the same genre. But even though it was longer, it packed more in there, and there was more emotional weight to it. When someone dies in this film, you feel it, and it's not a cop out. It's like, oh, you see this character transitioning, and basically the Earth is doomed in the film, and then you feel when someone dies before the Earth, is about to be end, you feel it, and it's an amazing plot, and the fact that I got this for cheap is a great deal. I'm glad that I was able to see this in the theater. I'm glad I got my hands on it. I'm gonna watch it again. All 2 hours and 48 minutes of it. Two discs. It has a ton of features. No commentary because Nolan is not very talky. He's kind of a shy director. He doesn't really talk about his films on DVD or Blu-ray. But this is an amazing movie. This is a sci-fi movie at its best. It's a slow burn like Alien or 2001: A Space Odyssey, but you stick with it all the way through, and it just it carries you through. And the visuals alone are just amazing to watch. It's a feast for the eyes. And Anne Hathaway, I thought this was one of her best films that she starred in. And even with short hair, I think she's a beautiful actress, and I care about her more than you know who. And also Jessica Chastain, beautiful actress. The red hair, just that beautiful face, the emotion in her eyes. Just I fell in love with her after watching this, and I want to see more with her. And what can I say? Nolan knows how to make a movie. He's not like a director that makes a bad movie every year and then he makes a good movie like 5 years later. No, this guy has been on a major role. And I know people that hated on this movie saying, it's a ripoff of Gravity, this and that. See the movie for yourself and then make your own judgments. But I think it's great. It's one of the best films I saw in 2014. And I'm glad I got it on Blu ray. And I know this is a longer video review, but I'm babbling. I'm just really tired. But Interstellar is a great sci-fi movie, and it for this month it's worth mentioning and it's worth giving a watch if you haven't seen it. Don't be afraid of the hype. Now that it's gone down the hype, you can just watch it, and it got there's a reason this gets an 8.6 on IMDb. It's in the top 20 like 30 films on IMDb. That's at number 78. It says a lot, right? This movie made less domestically, yet it's considered highly regarded more. Well, this is not a remake. That's why. And I don't think that's a remake, but with the complaints, it just the hype of that just kind of wore me out the last 2 months. This didn't. I saw this in the theater, loved it, and I said I'm going to get this on Blu-ray because it'll probably going to look fantastic, and I don't regret it one bit. And it's an amazing movie, and it says a beautiful and epic film here on the back, and I agree. Interstellar is a great movie. So that's my review on Interstellar. I hope you guys watch the film, can take it into consideration. Don't believe people that have said that it's disappointing. I think it's amazing. And when you want to see something, when you want to think of cinematic, this is what you think about. Not Jupiter Ascending or the Matrix sequels or something cinematic that's going to draw you in. And this drew me in. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching my other videos in Sci-Fi Month. I will continue tomorrow with another review. Um, and I will continue to, give my thoughts on sci-fi films, both the mainstream and the obscure, because I'm not just going to talk about mainstream stuff, because, mix it up a little bit. But anyway, later, guys.